Oh, so they have the best competitions. Oh, so you see how they compare against everyone else. Oh, interesting. Yet you don't want to compare them against the rest of New York State and see how they're doing against that. Absolutely, no. In life you don't avoid tests.
You study to learn.
They're not studying. The tests mean nothing. You don't get the results till next year. It means nothing for the teachers. It's the teachers union who's leading it. But let's start this right now.
The voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
WHPC HD Garden City.
You're tuned into Long Island's only FM sports voice. This is Sports Talk on 90.3 WHPC.
And we are back right here on 90.3 WHPC. The show is called Sports Talk. I'm Chris Muldoon, together with KJ Brooks, Tristan Hamilton, and Mark Tchaikovsky. We bring you this little
Mr. 66ers
labor of love every Thursday evening, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. What's that? Oh, and then we have the Sports Legal, which is a great idea to run right now as well. And this one will introduce you to all of the great sports shows we have on. And here it comes. I like this because now stay tuned to listen to the names of the people, the hosts, and listen to what times these shows are on.
The Yankees win 27 world titles.
Johan Santana throws the first Mets no-hitter.
David Tyree makes a catch for the ages.
Willis Reed walks out onto the garden floor.
For more great sports moments like these, be sure to tune in to all of our fantastic sports shows.
From the Press Box with Rob and Tim Leonard, Monday mornings at 10.
The Home Stretch with Anthony Tartamella and the WHPC sports staff, Tuesday evenings at 9.
Sports Talk with Chris Muldoon and the WHPC sports staff, Thursday evenings at 9.
And Beyond the Game with Jacob Valk, Brandon Johnson, and the WHPC sports staff, Friday afternoons at 3.
All of these excellent shows and more are on the voice of Nassau Community College.
90.3 WHPC.
WHPC HD.
Garden City.
As mentioned in the aforementioned promo, great shows on this station. You should listen to every show on this station, 24/7, 100% commercial free, 90.3 WHPC, WHPC HD Garden City. And we have these days, weekdays at 9 a.m., the Nassau Morning Madhouse. So people should tune into that because it's good stuff that's out there.
Puffy is back in business.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. He hosts it.
Nice. Oh, very nice.
Now.
Okay.
I don't know how long he's going to be part of the show.
Oh, interesting.
But he's not going under that name.
Okay. Oh, no? He's going under his real name?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, who? Puffy.
The Nassau Morning Madhouse, weekdays at 9 a.m. Or as I was looking at and seeing the sign last week, it was saying to me, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. I was like, what do you mean Wednesdays? It's weekdays at 9 a.m. But the Nassau Morning Madhouse. And we now have, it's the Nassau Mix.
And on Mondays, you know what we could do after Monday's Morning Madhouse? Catch out from the Press Box.
From the Press Box with the Leonard brothers, Rob and award-winning Tim, which I believe is his trademark name, award-winning Tim. 516-572-7440, 516-572-7440. That is the number to call. I'd love to hear from you, hear what's on your mind when it comes to sports. But like you heard in that promo, we have some great sports talk programs on the station. But this particular show you're listening to right now is called Sports Talk. So Talk Sports, 516-572-7440. And this guy's name is Talkie, because his name is Tchaikovsky, which is actually Czech for sports talk.
Somebody keeps changing my name in the Wikipedia page.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Someone added me.
Oh, really?
You have your own Wikipedia page?
No. The WHPC Wikipedia page. So I was browsing it. Somebody added me, so I changed it to my radio name because it's a radio station.
Oh, there you go.
And they keep changing it back.
Caller, you're on Sports Talk.
I'm a perfume mark.
Great, but I'm telling you, Santana, it was a one-hitter.
that was this coming up, right?
As a Mets fan, I still think it was June 1st. Yeah, that's when the June 1st or 2nd when the anniversary of
Carlos Beltran.
Well, that's what I loved about it, the fact that Carlos Beltran hit it. So I don't mind as much. And what's funny is that Carlos Beltran's probably going into the Hall of Fame as a Met. So, because his best years were he's been with so many teams, but his best years collectively were with the Mets.
His best year, though, was with the Astros.
His best week was with the Astros. And now he's back there, though, right? So
nobody remembers.
That is a great team. The Astros,
and they got rid of the Hill.
Yeah, did they?
Yeah.
Oh, in center field.
Yeah.
Very
Al's
nice.
Hill.
I just hate the fact that they've made Houston an American League team. Because the great thing about where you have multi-team in a state or a city, Yankees, Mets, ALNL. Florida, Rays, Marlins, ALNL.
Nobody
Ohio, you got the Indians, AL. You got the Reds, NL. Pennsylvania, you got the Pirates and the Phillies. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but
even
really
Baltimore, D.C., you got Nationals, Orioles. But Texas, you got the Rangers and you got the Astros. It's like, no, well, why don't you let each one of them have a...
Is that the only sports team that doesn't have a Dallas...
the Rangers play in Dallas. They play in Arlington. They play in Arlington. Yeah, which is, Arlington is Dallas. Is what it is. Yeah,
okay.
but that's a fine point, because when you talk about the sports, I'm glad we have Dave on for this because he could participate in this. When you talk about the sports that have four, major cities having four sports, like Cleveland does not have a hockey team.
Yeah,
but Columbus does. Of all the weird places you put a hockey team,
that makes sense, though. You know why? Because a lot of the four major sports teams are now like older kind of cities. Columbus is actually a growing city.
But the thing about Columbus is there's one pro sports team in Columbus, and it ain't the Blue Jackets. It's the Ohio State University. They dominate everything there. They have 80,000 students. They have a dorm built into the football stadium.
Well, the next best thing is there, believe it or not, USA national team plays a lot of games there.
Well, Columbus is also the place where, not anymore, but it used to be the Yankees AAA team. Yeah, the Columbus Clippers.
But I've seen their stadiums right off I-71, and you could see I could see that place being sold out.
Well, yeah. Ohio has a lot of big cities. But in terms of, New York has all the teams. So Golden State, which is really San Francisco, so they've got the Warriors and they've got the A's. If you want to go to Oakland, you have the Giants. Because the Warriors play in Oakland. They had played in Oakland.
They play in Oakland,
yeah.
but they're moving to San Francisco to the Chase Center.
But why did they always announce them as the Bay Area, though?
Right. Well, that is the Bay Area. Oakland and San Francisco are both the Bay Area.
They're both Bay?
Yeah, they're both Bay Area.
Oakland's kind of on the way out, though. Now no one wants to be associated with Oakland.
But what the crazy thing about Oakland is that so much of the money that comes from Silicon Valley, it's by Oakland. Palo Alto and the like. It's by Oakland.
But isn't it funny how the hockey teams that have come in over the years are kind of these growing cities? San Jose. It's like a growing city.
Yeah.
Nashville. And
now
Columbus.
Like you think of Nashville. So Nashville they now have football because that's where the Titans play, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They have hockey. Do not have baseball.
Baseball's in Memphis.
And don't have basketball. Yeah, and Memphis was a team moved from Vancouver, right?
Yeah,
Memphis was a Vancouver. But Memphis only has basketball, and they had to move from Vancouver for that. The team that, when the Panthers went to Charlotte in the 90s, so you had the Hornets twice, right? Mm-hmm. The Hornets were an expansion team twice. The Panthers were an expansion team, but there's no baseball in Charlotte, which would make sense to have a baseball team, but there is football. So there's basketball, there's football, and there's hockey, right? The Hurricanes, who were...
But they play in Raleigh, though.
And they were in Raleigh, which is a different part of the state.
And the weird thing about them is that they don't have first right for scheduling at the arena. They actually play at NC State's arena.
And even the Carolina, the football team, the Panthers, when they came into the league, they played 4 games in South Carolina and 4 games in North Carolina when they first started because they wanted to get the whole... That's why they're the Carolina Panthers and not North Carolina Panthers. Yeah. They wanted to get... because both North Carolina and South Carolina have populations that are getting bigger and bigger. Everyone's moving there.
Long Islanders moving there.
Yeah, they're all moving there. It's like all Long Island.
Seattle only has the Mariners and the Seahawks?
Well, they used to have a basketball team that was perfectly good to Oklahoma City. Yeah, there was no reason for their basketball team to leave. The Sonics had no reason to leave.
Well,
and they leave.
What kind of helped Oklahoma City's cause was actually by Hurricane Katrina. If Hurricane Katrina never happened, there might have never been a basketball team.
Well, now you look at Oklahoma City. They only have a basketball team. Mm-hmm. But the NBA sort of has to do that. They have to go into cities more that aren't serviced by other places.
That's why I think basketball would work in Memphis, but hockey wouldn't.
Yeah. Well, Seattle's got a baseball team, the Mariners, who were an expansion team in '77, so they came later on.
The Pilots.
They got the Seahawks, who were an expansion team in '76. So Seattle had nothing. They had the Pilots, who were 1969 for 1 year. The Seattle Pilots, a baseball team. So Seattle didn't have anything. They had the Sonics. The Sonics were there from the 70s on, but they're gone. And then what do they have?
The Mariners were going to move.
They do not have hockey.
Yeah,
the Mariners were going to move.
Yeah.
If they didn't have the 95 season.
Well, think about Portland. They've got the Trailblazers.
Right. Mm-hmm. But that's a big soccer town. That's
But also, but the guy Paul Allen is from Portland. Paul Allen's the co-founder of Microsoft, so he owns the Trailblazers. Portland does not have a football team, right? They had a football team in the USFL. They don't have a football team in the NFL. Do they have a hockey team? No.
No, but they're in the Western Hockey League, and they play at the
right.
Lotus
They have
Center.
a good
But
minor league.
It's junior hockey.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, like I think some of the Islander guys
came from there.
They came from there.
Yeah,
and they do.
So like
draw
Portland's
very well.
a city that only has a basketball team. Oklahoma City only has a basketball team. Memphis only has an NBA team. Basketball team.
I just think soccer is king though in Portland because the women draw just as well as the men in soccer in Portland.
Well, are they the Timbers?
The Thorns. The Thorns are the women team. The Timbers are the men's team.
And then you go down to the Orlando Magic, right? Orlando has a basketball team. Mm-hmm. But do they have a football team? No, but that's where the University of Central Florida, I think, is in Orlando. I think, which has
Citrus
become
Bowl.
a huge team in college football. They do not have a baseball team.
It's
obviously.
good that they gave them a college football team though with Florida State.
There's so much talent in Florida high school football. Because even now you've got South Florida, which was always big enough, but they didn't have a lot. Now South Florida's a big football team. Yeah. Central Florida's a big football team. And then in basketball, they had that Florida Gulf Coast University,
and they made a few runs in the March Madness.
Yeah, you got Florida Atlantic, Florida International. Yeah. They're all these, Florida. That's the population.
It's the air.
The one thing though that is at a disadvantage is if you're a baseball player in Florida, they tell you to move north for some reason. I don't know why. If you're a kid growing up in Florida,
because you're playing every day.
Go to Texas.
Yeah, well, that's the. I was having this conversation last night at the Good Life about Steven Matz. Steven Matz. They kept him because he was a lefty. They didn't keep him because he was Mr. Long Island, but that's part of the reason why they kept him. But Steve, you're talking about a guy on Long Island. We can only play baseball essentially. Let's just I'll say May, could be April, but I'll say from May to September or whatever it is. So they got these kids in these travel programs where they're playing a game a day, and they're playing on 4 different teams, and they might have pitch counts in whatever league they're playing in, but 4 different leagues don't have to abide by the other 4 different leagues. So these kids are just throwing and throwing and throws. And Steven Matz has become, his arm is breaking down. He's a young guy. He's on the DL. And I don't think they even have any timetable for him coming back. I don't think.
Yeah, but it's just eventually, because Matt Harvey's going to leave. Zach Wheeler's going to have to step up and become that third guy.
Well, and Syndergaard's out for a while.
And they got 2 more Long Island pitchers they drafted. What was it, last year? They were up in the ranks, too.
Yep.
But you have nothing to worry about. As soon as Mr. Wilpon heard that the circus was closing down, he sent his scouts right out there and said, get me a couple of arms.
No, he said, get me a couple of trainers because they're clowns. Who do they put? Jay Bruce is in the starting lineup today, which is good to put a guy who was kept on a rainy night, who was kept out of last night's game for precautionary back reasons. It's like, let's put him back in. It's raining out, it's pouring out. Put the guy with the bad back in. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
They took one of their cars.
But if you do listen to Howie Rose, I think he's on some sort of medication because
they were talking about sitcoms in the 3rd inning tonight.
Yeah, and the funny thing was one of his sidekicks said, if you listen real close, Travis is playing against his brother Chase.
Yes or no.
And he's actually
you can hear the conversation between the batter and the catcher.
Oh. and it's funny because I want to say is there a worse team than the Padres? Only I'm looking on the scoreboard and they've been beating the Mets. Yeah, so it's like, I guess there is.
The Padres, it's come to the point where their best player is Will Myers.
Yeah. Yep. But I never thought that they got that guy in right field. What's his name? Renfield or Renfro, whatever his name is. He dropped one last night. He dropped one today. You don't see major leaguers drop fly balls. You just don't.
My favorite name on the Padres, this guy's last name, Quackenbush.
Quackenbush. Oh, yeah. My mother-in-law always loved Quackenbush.
I was listening to them announce their names when they come up. I'm thinking, is this a joke? Is these really some of these guys' names? They got a guy named
Lamette, who I think they're mispronouncing it. His real name is Mamet, but they're calling him Lamette. It's like, no, it's Lamette.
Okay, you guys must be messing with me.
At least they're not doing may rest in peace, the guy from the Giants' old PA announcer. Who's
Bob Shepard?
Who's calling the thing halfway through the next play.
Unbelievable. As Richie from Charlotte would say, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Not my question, but as you Met fans, and it came over a lot earlier, if you could eliminate one thing from the Mets' history, what would it be? Madoff, Castillo, or Bonilla?
Well, Madoff, it's funny because the Wilpons actually made off with more money. They were made whole. They got their money back.
Right.
What would I had Vince Coleman with the whole fireworks and bleach.
Oh, that was fun. Go.
You know,
Nothing like bleach.
Yeah.
You know what I'd bring back? Get rid of the Doc Gooden missing on the parade. I think that would be everything else I could live with. But if Doc Gooden came to the parade, a lot of the other garbage wouldn't be hanging around.
Well.